It is a scene we have watched play out for the past several nights. Protesters gathering outside the police department in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, as the former police officer accused of shooting and killing Daunte Wright makes her first court appearance. Thank you for joining us for the second hour of NewsNation Prime tonight. I'm Marnie Hughes.
And I'm Rudy Shabazi. We begin with new developments involving 3 separate deadly police shootings across the Midwest.
Today, police in Chicago released body camera footage of a shooting that killed 13-year-old Adam Toledo.
It comes as the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd decides not to testify.
And just a few miles from Minneapolis, an emergency meeting by city leaders in Brooklyn Center days after 20-year-old Daunte Wright was shot and killed by an officer during a traffic stop. Tom Negevin is outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department where crowds have gathered, as we said, once again tonight. Tom.
Big crowd gathering again tonight. Hundreds of people here just outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department. The fence here, the National Guard right here, keeping a watchful eye on all of this. That meeting you referenced is about whether or not to ask the National Guard to go home. They're leaning that way. As for a court appearance today, the first by the police officer charged in this, Kim Potter, it was brief, it was virtual, and she's back in front of a judge middle of next month. Every night since the shooting, police have clashed with protesters outside their headquarters in Brooklyn Center. In spite of an overnight curfew, the demonstrations have been intensifying. There were about 24 arrests here last night as protesters hurled rocks and frozen water bottles at police, who responded with tear gas and flashbangs. At a press conference today, the Wright family thanked protesters for their support, asking them to obey the law, saying they also want equal protection under the law for young African-American men.
All this family is striving for is to get full accountability, to get equal justice, nothing more or nothing less.
Now, former police officer Kim Potter says she meant to deploy her taser on Sunday, instead firing a single round from her department-issued handgun. 20-year-old Daunte Wright was pronounced dead at the scene.
My son was very much loved. We loved him a lot. And the way he was killed, he did not deserve that.
But unfortunately, there's never going to be justice for us. The justice would bring our son home to us, knocking on the door with his big smile, coming in the house.
Potter resigned from the force 2 days later, along with the chief of police. She made her first court appearance today electronically on a charge of second-degree manslaughter. Wright's family reacting to that charge today.
Manslaughter? Y'all see the difference? This is a taser. This is a taser.
A live look at the crowd. And back to a live look at the crowd that continues to grow here outside of police headquarters. The National Guard watching, police watching, everything peaceful right now, although not so much last night. About 22 arrests here last evening and a number of injuries, including several police officers. All peaceful right now, and a meeting still underway among city officials regarding whether or not to ask the National Guard to call it quits here and go home. Live in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, Tom Negevin, NewsNation.
Thank you, Tom.